So my wife and I today decided to do the beans and rice thing. I don't know if any of you, some of you I know are telling me about it. I know at least one person that did it for the whole week. And I'm like, wow, because it is awful. I don't like beans. I don't know, maybe you do, but I like beans, like black beans is what we had for lunch. And it felt like I was just eating like paste, like just gooey, flavorless paste. And we didn't put like good stuff. Like I was like, can I put some soy sauce on my make some fried rice? That's how they say it. Make some fried rice. And no, we ate it. And it was really plain, and it was really lame. And I really missed my regular food. In fact, Tracy was like, in the morning we're having eggs and bacon and biscuits and like good food because we like food. I don't know about you. And maybe you tried it and you saw it wasn't too fun. And I definitely, though, realized how lucky we are, how blessed we are, that we can choose to do it or not, right? Like, I chose to eat food I don't like all day. That was a choice I made. And then tomorrow, I get to choose to eat whatever I want, like a gallon of Dr. Pepper because I had none today. Right? No, I can choose to do it. I can choose to, and that's an amazing thing. Well, there are obviously tons and tons of people in the world that don't get to choose. In fact, when we had rice, I was like, I can eat as much as I want. I ate it until I just couldn't take it anymore, okay? But sometimes, it's amazing, though, that we get to choose this stuff. Like some of you slept on the floor, and some of you are still sleeping on the floor. And you maybe experienced that you're like, the night I did it, I was just wanting to get up and get in bed. And that's an amazing thing, though. We get to choose, right? You get to choose to get into bed or to sleep on the floor. And if you didn't sleep on the floor, that's okay. I still think you should try it. It's just to help you realize what other people are dealing with. But we get to choose to, and we get to get back in. But we like to be comfortable. Don't you like to be comfortable? Okay. We have lots of things. America is all about being comfortable, in my opinion. We just like to be comfortable. We have comfort everything. Comfort food. Do y'all have comfort food? Do y'all know what comfort food is? This is, I heard somebody say ice cream. Comfort food is stuff that you eat when you're just not in a good mood. So for some of you, it's definitely ice cream, okay? You're not in a good mood, and so you just get some, and this is my wife. If she's not happy, I'm just like, maybe I can take her to Marble Slab. All problems are gone. And so it's a comfort food. It makes you feel better. My comfort food is this. It may not be food, but it makes me feel better, okay? Or chicken wings. Okay, I eat these when the Cowboys play because they lose so much. It makes me feel better, all right? It's just kind of how that works, at least in critical games. But I know for a whole lot of you, it would be this, okay? Because I see them, you got your every Wednesday, all the time I'm seeing these, okay? And you just go and you get your Starbucks and you just feel comfortable. And maybe some of you are like me, I hate coffee, right? But do you have something, maybe some of you it's chocolate or whatever else, and you have something that makes you feel comfortable? We like to be comfortable. I have a comfortable mattress. My wife and I just bought a brand new one. We spent weeks picking it out. We found the perfect softness, everything, we've got all that. I like comfortable shoes, okay? They have like tennis shoe bottoms that feel all nice and comfortable. Some of you girls, you got really comfortable shoes, okay? These shoes I always see girls wearing, especially in the winter, not much now. Uggs, right? Y'all like these because they're like lambskin and all that, which basically means you're wearing this, but we won't go there because you're like, it's so comfortable, I don't care, all right? The little lamb died for my feet, all right? But it's okay because it's comfortable, right? We don't care about that. It's comfortable, and we like to be comfortable, and in lots of different ways. Are you laying in bed in the morning and it's too cold in the house? You do not want to get out from under the covers. You ever go through this? Okay, so my wife and I have this, an Amazon Echo, and we bought a special thermostat, so when I'm in bed, I can be laying there, it's like, oh, it's too cold. Alexa, turn up the heat. And the heat turns on, and then I just lay there for about 3 minutes till it gets warm in the house, and then I take off the cover so I don't even have to get out, put my arm out or anything, just anything. I just wait till it gets warm. And that's because I like to be comfortable. You like to be comfortable, right? I had a friend, he got an alarm clock that had a projector on it, and the projector would project the time on the ceiling. And I was like, why do you need that? What's the point? And he goes, because when you're laying in bed at night, you don't want to have to turn and look at the clock. And I was like, so wait a minute. You are so lazy that you won't go. That was too much work for you, okay? And so we like to be comfortable. We don't want, people are like, I'm watching TV. I want to eat my popcorn, but my arms are cold. So they put sleeves on their blanket and made a slanket or a Snuggie or whatever, okay? That's a thing, okay? That is called a slanket. Okay, and some of you are like, they're awesome. What are you talking about? Yeah, we have one. I know, okay? We like to be comfortable, and when things make us uncomfortable, we don't like it. Like when somebody gets into your comfort zone. Do y'all know what that is? The comfort zone? Like some friends can get really close, and then other friends, other people have to stay further away. And the more you know somebody, the closer maybe that comfort zone is. But it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, you can start getting really close to somebody, and they start feeling uncomfortable. And there's always, okay, I'm uncomfortable. All right? He was smiling really big. So there's a comfort zone, okay? And some people, they always encroach on it. It makes you uncomfortable. We have a comfort zone. We like to be comfortable. And here's the thing. It's good to be comfortable. That's not a problem, especially when it comes to a nice mattress or your comfy Uggs, poor lambs. When it comes to whatever, that's fine to be comfortable. But sometimes we let comfort creep into all the areas and too many areas of our life. And the problem with that, and where it starts to really cause problems is, if you are always trying to be comfortable, you probably won't ever do anything very great. Because most great things require you to go through some discomfort. If you think about somebody that you really respect and would like to be like, maybe you're an athlete and there's somebody that's like an athlete that you look at and you're like, okay, I wish I could play the game like them. I wish I could be like them. Or, some of you really like the Olympics when it comes around. And there's like that person that won the gold medal. And you're like, yes, go America, USA. And you're seeing national anthem, you got a little tear and all that. And so you're watching them and you're thinking, this is amazing. But I tell you what that person did not do. They were not sitting on their couch one day watching their 7th episode in a row on Netflix of whatever their show is right now. And haven't gotten off the couch eating potato chips and go, you know what? I think I want to try out for something at the Olympics. Yeah, that sounds good. No, they worked and sweat and got sore and got some pain and went through a lot of discomfort if they're going to get there. You got to go through some discomfort if you want to try out for your track team or your football team or whatever. There's going to be discomfort. There's discomfort in most things that you want to be good at. Even like playing an instrument comes through some pain. When I went to college, I was trying out for the drum line, and we always played. Y'all won't care about this, but I just thought of this. We played one kind of way, and they had to play a different way. Held the sticks a different way, and so it set on this part of your finger right here. The drumstick did. So I'm playing. We played for like 3 hours straight. Well, I had never really played that way, and so this right here cracked open. And so I'm playing, and all of a sudden the stick is getting real slippery. And I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to look down. Okay, you got to be like, and I'm like, why is it so slippery? And finally I looked down, and there's blood running down the drumstick. And there was some pain, some discomfort. You got to have some discomfort if you want to do anything successful, anything good. There's a reason why I do not have a six-pack, all right? Because to get there takes some discomfort, and I ain't willing to go there. All right, my wife always trying to get me to go there, but I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, there's a reason it takes some discomfort. Just so many things. When I was in school, I made good grades. Okay, I made all A's when I was in high school. And people would say to me, must be nice to make all A's. Like it was easy. No, all A's means you stay home and do homework when everybody else went out and do something. All A's means you skip lunch or you go to school early to get some extra help. That's what it meant for me. I wasn't smart enough to just do it on my own. All A's means you work really hard. Okay, it means you go through some discomfort. What I'm trying to get at is if you want to do something, you're going to have to go through some discomfort. In fact, if you are unwilling to be uncomfortable, you are unlikely to do anything great in your life. Let me say it again, ready? If you are unwilling to get uncomfortable, you are unlikely to do anything great in your life. You will probably not do much more than just barely scrape by if you will not get uncomfortable. And I want you to do something great. In fact, if you're unwilling to get uncomfortable, it is unlikely that you will even make it as a Christian in our country. Because it's not like it's super popular to be a Christian right now in a lot of circles, okay? It's looked down on in a lot of ways. But if you're unwilling to get uncomfortable, you're very unlikely to do something great. If you think about people in the Bible that you know their name because they did something great, like Moses. Have y'all heard of Moses maybe? We're going to like an old guy with a beard. He wasn't always that way, once he was young. Anyways, but he was just having a normal life. He was like in a secluded area. He was married. He had a family. Things are going smooth. Then God appears to him and says, hey, I want you to go to Pharaoh, and I want you to tell him to let all of his slaves go, which are my people. Now, I don't know if you think about this, like, God, Pharaoh can just say, you're dead. How about that? Okay, that's all he's got to do. I mean, he's like, I don't want to do this. This is not going to be comfortable. I'm very comfortable in my life right now. I don't want to go get in this big mess. But he got uncomfortable, didn't he? Or how about this one guy? He was bringing some cheese and some food to his brothers. Okay, his brothers were in the army, and he was bringing them to them, and he gave them. And then he heard this guy in the enemy's army yelling, right, how he was going to defeat them and how they were all lame and all that. And this young guy who was bringing this stuff, what was his name? David. Yeah, some of you are like, oh, I know this. Okay, David, you've heard of David and Goliath, right? What if David hears Goliath and goes, that's somebody else's problem? That would not be, I want to take care of this, okay? Because comfortable says that's somebody else's deal, they'll take care of it. Comfortable says, I would rather go back and take care of my sheep, because that's what David did, right? He was taking care of these, right? Protecting them from girls trying to make Uggs, probably, or I don't know, wolves maybe, but definitely women, all right? And so he was taking care of, that was his job, nice, easy, cushy job, okay, I take care of that, and it's not that big a deal, but now you want me to go fight a giant? That's uncomfortable. That's not easy. I want a nice, comfortable, easy life. But nobody would know David's name if David didn't step up and do something uncomfortable. If you don't step up and do something uncomfortable, you're not going to do great things. But you are made to do great things. You are made to make a difference, and you can if you'll get uncomfortable. I said that if you're not willing to get uncomfortable, then it's not likely you'll make it as a Christian. And the reason I said that is, like I said, it's not always popular to be a Christian. Some people will look at you and say, what do you mean you're not going to do this? What do you mean you're not sleeping with your girlfriend? What do you mean you're not going to go out with us and do this thing? Or you're not going to do, what do you mean you're going to give some of your money to some girls in India instead of go out to eat with us? What do you mean? Okay, people aren't going to get what you're doing sometimes. And it can be very difficult. In fact, Christians are often made fun of a lot on TV and social media and things. And so if you're unwilling to be uncomfortable, it's unlikely that you'll even make it as a Christian. Jesus knew this, right? So he was teaching his disciples, and he was talking about what it would be like to be a disciple. And so he said, then Jesus said to his disciples, are you a disciple? Yes. Turn to somebody and say, wake up. Please, thank you. All right. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone would come after me, his life will be easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Every day will be like cotton candy and snow cones. Did y'all know Jesus said that? He didn't say that, did he? Okay, just making sure you're paying attention. Okay. If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself. Wait, Jesus, that does not sound comfortable. I want to be comfortable, Jesus. Deny myself, that sounds uncomfortable. Take up my cross, that sounds really uncomfortable, and follow me. So he was like, hey, you're going to be my disciple. Great, I want you to know something. It's not always going to be lemon squeezy, easy, whatever I said, all right? That thing, okay? It's not always going to be cotton candy and fun and happy. And yes, he is the God of rest. And yes, he's the God of peace and joy. But here's the way that works. You work hard and you commit yourself and you live courageously. And then at night you lay down and you have peace and you rest and you get up the next day and you go at it again. And then he gives you peace and you lay down at night and you rest and you get up the next day and you make a difference in the world. But he's looking for people that will have courage instead of just wanting to be comfortable. People that will have some commitment instead of just wanting to be comfortable. In fact, this guy comes up to Jesus one day. And Jesus doesn't respond how I would have responded. Okay? It says, as they were walking along the road, so here's Jesus. This is in Luke 9. There's Jesus and his disciples, and they're walking along the road. And a man said, I will follow you, Jesus, wherever you go. Now, if one of you came to me and said, I want to follow Jesus, you know what I would do? Yes. Okay, here's some cotton candy. No, I'll be like, yes, I'm so excited for you. This is going to be great. You're like, I would be, yes. Okay, this is what you would expect Jesus to do, right? To look at him and say, your life is about to change. Things are going to be amazing. This is what Jesus says. Foxes have holes. Birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. What did Jesus just say to him? Why? I want to follow you. Foxes have holes. Okay, what, Jesus? I don't understand. Okay, so this is what he just said. Hey, even these animals, they got places to sleep. They have a home. I just want you to know, tonight I don't have a home. In fact, me and my disciples, see that tree? We're going to sleep under that tree on the ground. That's what we're going to do tonight. And it was implied here is that this guy just like, but I have a really nice bed, and I have a really nice home. I want to sleep in it. And he was like, okay, never mind on the following you thing. And so he didn't follow him. Why? Because he wasn't willing to be uncomfortable. And a lot of people aren't willing to be uncomfortable, so they don't do things. Do you want to know what this guy's name is that did this? Nobody knows. The only thing the Bible says is someone, okay? He's a someone. He's a nobody. His life meant nothing. He literally met Jesus. Here's Jesus standing right in front of him, and he couldn't accomplish anything, okay? Jesus touched him, didn't do anything. Now, you know Peter. Have you heard the name Peter? Have you heard the name James or John or Matthew? These are all guys that you know. These are people that did follow him and did go through all the different struggles and were willing to be uncomfortable, and they made a difference and changed the world. Are you going to be a someone or a Peter or a James or one of those that makes a difference? And you can. Is within you. God created every single person to make a difference, but you got to be willing to be uncomfortable. And too many people will not be uncomfortable, so they don't ever do anything. I think Jesus would say prioritizing commitment or courage is more important to me than your comfort. Yeah, he wants you to have rest and have peace, and I believe that, but he wants some people that are willing to be uncomfortable to do something great. Are you willing to be uncomfortable to do something great? Well, let's make it really simple. Tomorrow you're at school, and you see somebody that you know, and it looks like they're having a really bad day. You know, you could just tell, maybe they're crying, maybe they're just look miserable. Would you pray with them? Oh, no, man, that'd be awkward. I can't ask somebody to pray with me. That would make me uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. I would feel weird. I don't want to do that. Okay, you don't have to make a difference, okay? But you can't. You see, we're not even willing to pray with somebody. How are we going to make a difference? You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. I remember the first time I asked somebody, can I pray with you at school, that was like really upset. It felt super awkward. But you know what happened with that person? The next time they went through something bad, they actually called me on the phone and said, hey, can you pray with me? And then for the next 4 years, that person called me sporadically as they went through things and said, hey, will you pray with me again? Hey, will you pray with me again? And guess what? I got to minister to that person. Why? Because I was willing to get uncomfortable. Will you get uncomfortable? Will you step out and invite somebody that needs to be invited? Oh, that's awkward. You see, you ask them and they say, no, I feel uncomfortable. Do you get the point here? If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you're not going to ever do anything great. When I was your age, I went to a youth group, and their worship team was a CD player and an old lady around in her 40s, okay? And she sang opera style, okay? So it was like a CD playing and her going, shout to the Lord, all the earth. Okay, this like, and this is what everyone did. They're like, okay, the whole time, the whole youth group. Some of them kind of sang along a little bit, and it was really bad. So aren't you thankful that when you come here that we have this? Aren't you? Yes? Okay. Okay, yes, it's amazing. I love coming in and getting to worship, but I want you to understand something. Everybody on this stage has gone through some discomfort to be able to do this. A time discomfort, okay? They have to be here Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. They come early Sunday night for practice, early Wednesday night for practice. They have to practice at home sometimes and do all that. And so they've given all that time, and pretty much all of them have at some point had to say no to a job or no to some activity or no to something so that they could be here to do this. They go through discomfort all the time. Why? So that you can have a team to lead them in worship. Aren't you thankful that somebody is willing to be uncomfortable? It's just that way. And so if we're going to be uncomfortable, we're going to be able to make a difference. But if we're not willing to be uncomfortable, then we're not going to be able to do things. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to be on the worship team. Some of you can't sing. I don't want you on the worship team. Some of you maybe need to get some uncomfortable and be on there. But you know what I'm saying? We want to be doing things that make a difference. So how many of you know who Victoria is? Anybody know who Victoria? A lot of you still know. If you're new, it's okay. She used to lead worship. I grabbed a picture of her so y'all could see. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Okay, here we go. So there's Victoria. She led worship for us for a year. And it's fun making fun of someone that's not here. She's going to be back next week. Y'all can tell her about it. So she led worship for us for a couple of years. But when she was young, I remember when she first we're trying to get her on the worship team, her dad, I could tell you, she was terrified. I would try to get her singing. She'd be like, And we tried to pressure in. Okay, you're going to sing it with this person. I said, okay, you're going to sing it with this person. They're going to sing with you during the service. And I go to that person and say, just pull your mic off. Just stop singing. And then she'll be all by herself. And so we just tried to force her. But then eventually she started to be willing to be uncomfortable and sing, and then she led us in worship for a couple of years. But even more interesting than that to me was, okay, when she was young, okay, I would ask her, I would say, hey, how come you don't ever bring any friends? And she goes, I don't want to. It's weird. I don't want to. It's uncomfortable. She didn't want to. She just flat out told me, I don't want to. I don't want to bring friends. Well, about her, in her senior year, end of her junior, I think, senior, she started inviting people. One of the people that she invited on ladies' night was Corbin. I don't know why ladies' night, but it was invited probably because they were telling the guys how to behave. And so she invited Corbin, okay? Now, Corbin recommitted his life to Christ. If you know Corbin, not many people love Jesus more than Corbin. I don't think anybody, yeah. See, he loves, okay. So she invites Corbin, okay? And Corbin's like, now, it took some discomfort for her. If you ask her, she felt awkward doing it. But no, this is weird. I was finding this out. I was finding some things. So he invited Dylan and Ashton. Some of you know them. More trumpet players, okay? And so then Ashton, this February, invited Lily. 2 weeks ago, Lily got baptized, and 2 weeks before that, she gave her life to Jesus. Yes, something like that. So now, I see this, though. It goes from her, and you don't even know Victoria. Do you know Victoria? She don't even know her. She wouldn't be here, baptized, giving her life to Jesus if it wasn't for Victoria getting uncomfortable. She invited Corbin invited Ashton invited Lily gave her life to Jesus. Isn't that amazing? You got to get uncomfortable to do something like that. So this is crazy. See, every person that she wins for Christ in her life, which will probably be a lot because I've gotten to know her, she's a pretty amazing person, can be traced back to Victoria's getting uncomfortable. Will you get uncomfortable? Y'all know Robbie. He stands up here and leads worship every week, okay? I didn't need a picture of him because y'all see him all the time, okay? So he's leading worship, and he does, okay, sorry. I had to. Did you know he hates singing? He does. Every time I say, sing the song, he's like, no, I don't sound good. Okay, I don't want to do it. He's so uncomfortable, but you know what? He just keeps coming every Wednesday and keeps doing it because we needed somebody that would step up and be a leader for our youth group. You got to be uncomfortable. And here's the thing. When you finally step out and you become uncomfortable, you will do amazing things, and God will give you the strength to get through it and to be a winner and to succeed and to do something great. Now, that was the whole reason that we started the Heartwork thing, is to give you guys a way of doing something uncomfortable. Okay, it's not comfortable to give up your Starbucks for 30 days so that you can give some money. It's uncomfortable to sleep on the floor for 30 days so that you can raise some money. It's uncomfortable to do some of these things. And a lot of you are doing it. Now, I don't know what we got tonight. We have about $1,000 so far. We need about $6,000 by next week. So you guys got to get some working going, all right? Some of you need to get some uncomfortable. You've been like, I'm going to do something. It's this week. Next week's the last week we're taking an offering for it, so you need to do something if you want to get uncomfortable for that. But listen, this is not just about 30 days. Our 30 days was to help us see a little bit what that's like. Some of you, you're going to get to do an 8-day one, okay, starting tonight. That'd be 8, or just 7 days if you start tomorrow, of being uncomfortable maybe for 30 days. But I want that, it's got to be beyond that. It's got to be your life, that you're willing to be uncomfortable to do something great for Jesus. And I just imagine what could happen if this many people got uncomfortable for God. We could change the world. We could definitely change Burleson, but it would be amazing if you would get uncomfortable. How many of you know David's brothers' names? Nobody, right? They're in the Bible. Eliab, Abinadab, Shimea, Ozem. I mean, nobody's naming their son Ozem, right? I mean, I've never heard that, okay? It's not happening, because nobody knows what they're, do you know all of them were at the battle? They were all sitting there listening to Goliath, and they all went, somebody else will do it. I'm not doing that. And so much of the time, I think we look and we see somebody hurting, and we go, somebody else will take care of it. Somebody else will do it. See somebody sitting alone in a youth service or, not hanging out with anybody, somebody else talk to him. Somebody else talk to him. We have a group of people who they don't love to do it. They just do it. They see somebody that's not talking to somebody that's feeling alone, and they just get uncomfortable and go and spend time with them so they feel welcome in our youth group. We need more people that will get uncomfortable and do that. See, we can change things if we'll be willing to do something for God, and I believe that you can. And I want to see you do something. Can you imagine if you could start having a story like Victoria's? Now, I talked to Victoria last night because I asked her if I could talk about this. And I asked her this one question. I said, so when you think about those years before you were willing to invite and willing to do things, how do you feel about that? She went, frustrated. Because I could have done so much more. She was like, I know it's like, now I'm wanting to do all this, and she is doing a lot in her school, but she's like, I could have done all this while I was in high school. And so can you. You may be in junior high, you may be a freshman, you're almost done 19 days of school, right? But you're like, you can do something. You don't have to wait. I don't have to ask you and say, what do you feel about that time before? Because you started. Do something. Make a difference. I'm going to pray over you guys, and then we're going to have just a short time of prayer because some of you need prayer for something. And if you need prayer for anything, there'll be people at the back of the room to pray with you, and we'll be dismissed in just a couple of minutes. And but if you want prayer, let somebody pray with you. So let's pray together. Father God, I just thank you that you have given us all some purpose to do. I ask that these young people would be willing to get uncomfortable, to do something great in your name, and that lives would be changed because of it. I thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.